Good evening, everyone. IRCC just announced a very important update around international students that is planning to Canada. So we thought to make a quick video on explaining the difference between this update and the updates that we heard in July 14 and see what has changed. So as you can see that still international students that they have visa approval and they receive their student visa before March 18, they are exempt from coming to Canada. So, but they still, when they arrive, they have to provide a quarantine plan for 14 days. If they don't have a plan or anything, now what's the planning of doing in the first 14 days, they should not travel to Canada. And on the study permit, as you guys heard on the July 14, there was a decision on making two-stage visa approval for students. On the first stage, that the students can submit their visa, get the kind of their approval so they can start online. And on the second stage, the student can do their medical, police certificate, biometric, or anything related to that. So as you can see, now they have a more clear explanation around that. For the first approval, if the students can provide letter of acceptance letter, a certificate for the Quebec, proof of financial, whether it's tuition fee, living expenses, return the transportation for themselves, any family ties that they have, and evidence that they leave Canada. This is very standard for all the study permit application. And if they cannot, it's very highly recommended that they provide a letter and explain exactly if they're missing any document and if they cannot submit anything. So it's super, super important that they provide the explanation letter if they are missing any document. And if the students provide all the required document, like medical, police certificate, biometric, everything else, then the students obviously will get the one-stage visa. But if they are missing document, they will get the first approval, and on the second approval will be the students that later on will do the medical exam, police certificate, and then when the students passes the second stage approval, at that point they are ready to come to Canada and they can continue their studies. That would be the important sections of it. It's here as well that this two-stage will only apply for student study permit applicants that they submit their visa before September 15, and for the program that is starting for fall. So at this moment, the stage 1 and the stage 2 are not for the students for January. So they're trying to prioritize the students that they have submitted their visa for fall rather than January. On the PGWP, there is a very good section that's been updated around the fact that if the students are in Canada, there would be no impact if the classes has moved online. Very clear, there's no limitation or anything. And if the students are outside of Canada and they are applying, they began their study outside of Canada and they complete 50% of their program, they cannot come to Canada sooner. There is no impact on their PGWP. The great news is this section. So it says after you are applying for your study permit, any time spent studying online from outside will count toward of your postgraduate work permit. So before they mention that you need to have a valid study permit and approval in order to study your program online. So obviously right now, the students can submit their study permit, whether the approval is in their hand or not, then submit and then start the program online. So it's good for the students that they submitted their visa, but they don't have the first stage approval in their hand to start their programs online. Obviously, there would be a significant request from a lot of the students. If they get visa refusal, what's going to happen, which goes back depending on the institution, that whether they count that as a visa refusal, whether they can't. Those are the things that depend on where the students is going and the institution that they selected. You have to know, so that risk of tuition refund will be there. Some schools we have seen that they decided that if the students start online but does not have doesn't get the visa, even though if their first semester or so, they will issue the full refund, which is a great initiative. But be careful around that messaging. But the great thing is, if I'm a student, I can submit my visa and then start my program online and don't need to be worried about my PGWP. But as you can see, still there is a 3 condition on this. The students should not do more than 50% of their program in the length of the program. They should apply for their study permit before September 15, and most importantly, it's for the summer or fall intake. And the whole thing is going to be valid till December 31st, so they wouldn't be impacting of the length of your postgraduate work permit for study will be outside until December. So it's a great news for all international students that they were kind of worried, and hopefully this video makes it a bit more clear for students and our partners around the world and our school partners in Canada that what this news and what is the significant changes. Great initiative, and hopefully this video made things a little bit more clear. Thank you.